Hi there, welcome to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra, and here on my channel you'll see lots of budget-friendly farmhouse home decor, some thrift store flips, and even trash to treasure. Today I am participating in the Latina Next Door's Look for Less challenge, where we take something that is out of our budget and recreate it using as little amount of money as possible. Her co-host for this month is Yelena from the Blondie Next Door. If you have not seen both of these ladies' channels, you need to go check them out. They do some amazing DIYs, some renovations, and farmhouse decor, all sorts of wonderful things. I'll have both of their channels and the playlist link down in my description box. My first project for today is this white fall garland, available on Wayfair for, look at the price, $130. Really? I don't think so. I'm going to recreate this for under 10 bucks. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to whitewash pumpkins. Now, this is a little different. You could probably just take your pumpkins and dip them right into the latex paint. I'm going to try that technique next, but for now I'm taking 1 can of water and then 2 cans of latex paint, and I'm going to mix that together really well. Because this garland has some white pumpkins in different sizes, I'm going to need to put some white paint on some of these pumpkins. I wanted to try this whitewash technique to see how it works, and it actually worked pretty good. I did make a total mess of my hands, of the paper, of everything. There was paint dripping all over the place. What I ended up doing is taking a bamboo skewer and just poking the bottom of these pumpkins and then sticking them into some styrofoam so they could dry. I made sure to shake off as much excess as I could before setting them aside to dry. The garland that I'm recreating also has some little gourds, so I'm going to dip those too. As I was going, I got a little smarter. I decided to poke a hole at the bottom of each of these before I dipped them, because it was really tricky to just hang on to that little plastic piece and get that skewer put in properly. So that's a little tip for you. Make sure you poke a hole first. So the pumpkins have had a chance to dry thoroughly, and you can see that they are whitewashed. I did want the color to be just a little deeper, so I've decided to dip them one more time. I really like how they looked coming out of the paint, just like this, pure white. I think that is just absolutely gorgeous. So I think next time when I do some dipping like this, I've got some other pumpkins that I'm thinking of doing. I'll probably just use straight latex paint. The garland that I'm recreating has oak leaves that are also whitewashed a little bit, but the one that I'm using has these maple leaves. I took some of them off, and I've got a skewer that I'm going to poke into the hole of the 2 leaves where they're joined, and I'm just going to dip these guys in as well and then just let them dry. You can see one on the left there is already sitting and getting dried up. This is the full garland that I picked up at my Dollarama for $1.50. It's got some maple leaves, it's got some of the berries already, and the colors are beautiful. What I'm going to do is reattach the leaves that I took off in their place. They're going to be about every second or third group of leaves will be white. This garland is only made of plastic. There's no wire on it, so I'm taking some of the jute wire that is from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap that around, just twisting it all the way through, just to give this more stability. The Wayfair garland also had 1 leaf at the end of each of the pieces, so I'm going to just snip off 1 leaf from part of the garland and hot glue it to the very end. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now comes the fun part where I can add all of these extra embellishments to this garland and make it look high-end. I'm going to use these pine cones that I foraged from my cottage, and I'm going to use hot glue to attach them to the garland. A trick I can give you to help these pine cones or help any pine cones attach to a garland is to put the hot glue in between the layers of the pine cone and then press the pine cone garland itself right in between those layers, and that's just going to stick for a really long time. Some of these leaves had a little piece of plastic that was sticking out, and because I made holes with my skewers at the bottom of each of these fruits, I was really easily able to just stick those in. So I added some hot glue to the edge and then pushed that right in, so that little gourd is going to be stuck there for a long time. I'm going to continue filling up this garland with pine cones and pumpkins, and I've even got some pip berries that I'm going to use as a little bit of extra flair. If we take a look at the inspiration piece again here, you can see that it's really nice and full, so I want to make sure that I do the same. In the areas where I want to put a pumpkin or a gourd and there isn't a little leaf attachment, I'm using a little twist tie, and I'm just going to twist it around the garland, and then I'm going to put hot glue on the end of it and then just push that pumpkin down right on top of it. These are the pip berries that I mentioned earlier. They're brown with a little white dot on it, and they're just so cute and very farmhouse. They are on a wired stem, so I'm going to very easily be able to attach these to the garland. I will be cutting them in half and some of them in thirds, just to give the garland a little bit more fullness and texture. I've got one more sweet little project for you, and this is my inspiration. These are some velvet pumpkins. They're 2 pieces for $22. This has got to be the easiest way to make a pumpkin. You need a piece of fabric and a roll of toilet paper. You're going to take the fabric and start tucking it right inside the middle of the toilet paper roll. This fabric is gray felt, and I found this piece at Dollarama, which is a dollar store here in Canada, and it was $2. I've got this gray piece and I've got a cream colored piece as well that I'll be making a pumpkin with too. Once I've got this all put in together like that, I'm going to make sure it's secure and then go ahead and pull out some of the sides and make it puffier in some spots and just give it some more texture. I don't want it too tight because then it will look like a roll of toilet paper. So I'm just going to be pushing it around and pulling some of it out to make sure that it's nicely even all the way around. I just want to make sure that everything stays in place. I went into my backyard, grabbed a couple of sticks, broke them in half, and used that for the stem of the pumpkin. These turned out absolutely adorable. Here's a look at the inspiration pieces on the left and my decor on the right. I think I did a pretty good job. I still wouldn't pay $130 for a garland and $22 for a couple of pumpkins. It's not too bad, but it's still pretty steep considering I did mine for $4. I also did my garland for under $10. I'd like to thank Yami, the Latina next door, and Yelena, the Blondie next door, for hosting this month's challenge. If you like this kind of content, I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button and stick around a while. You can also click the blue bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.